let me check in at about halfway point of my reading day of Prrt and Olivier in America by Peter Carey. Um, so Prrt and Olivier seem to be at least working together. Prrt signs the papers. Olivier has the money, and Olivier kind of embarks upon his thing of going to visit prisons. Mr. Peak introduces him to a Miss Godfrey, a pretty blonde, straw-colored haired American young woman who is the daughter of just one of these penitentiaries. I think it's Sing Sing. Um, and he's so enamored with her that he wants to immediately go and see her, but thus alienates Mr. Peak, who was very interested in getting Olivier kind of hooked up to one of his daughters, and refuses indeed to actually introduce him. And he was trying to kind of throw off some Quakers who were going to show him his prison, and said like, "Oh, I'm going to cancel." And they're like, "We have like 50 fucking people coming to be there, a big conference. You're the star. It would be really, really awkward if you did not show up." So he ends up kind of rearranging that, and going to Philadelphia, where they come upon a fellow who has got a massive library, and he's been really looking for some Diderot Moliere to read to this pretty young American who he's enamored of. And indeed, this guy has a monster copy, like gigantic copy with like engravings, which is like, I'm not going to haul this out. And the guy says like, "Well, I don't have anything smaller. You'd have to send to France, maybe New York if you were going to get lucky." And Prrt picks it up and goes, "Holy shit, this is mine. This is mine." And he's like, "What?" And it's like there's engravings in it, engravings of Australia in it. And it's like, "You were a felon? You were a convict?" It's like, this is like, dangerous stuff. You'd maybe get sent back there. You never know, especially with these guys. And it's like, "No, I had a guy who rescued me, abandoned me, and then picked me up again, and it was him who did it. And he even did this map here. He made me do this map here and made me a captain. And indeed, it says John Larrett at the bottom of it." There's a couple of things in here where Olivier mentions things. One of which is Liberty, the famous Liberty, leading her people to freedom or something like that, which it's like, "Oh, it's that painting." And I kind of did a little Google stuff on it and looked at it, Diderot's painting. And then I flipped the page and like, oh, there's a kind of crappy black and white version of it on the page. And it's just like, oh, really? Did we need this there? So I was semi-disappointed by that one. They do actually show also this map with Captain John Larrey at 1803 at the bottom of it. And it's definitely a very fanciful map, a counterfeit, a forgery, counterfeit, an imagination of the map of Australia, which Prrt says that the monsieur dictated to him, basically told him what to put there because he wanted it for his own purposes, saying that Monsieur Tableau, because you don't pronounce that T, is a spy, and this was a part of his kind of nefarious spy work. And it's interesting, like just how much emotion that brings up in Prrt, Prrt, and they feel sorry for him, Olivier and this other French exile who has amassed a great library and wines that none of the Americans are interested in. They all find them too sour, whereas these three guys all go like, finally decent drink. There's also kind of multiple kind of observations here of how American justice seems to be based on basically how much money you have. That's how they freed this young man. This young man was freed. How Prrt was freed, or would have been convicted if he was destitute. And there's also stuff about like Olivier talks to a woman who says like, I believe black people are just as intelligent as white people. Black children learn just as quickly, even more, even quicker. And it's like, but they can't vote. It's like, well, why can't they vote? Well, because the general opinion is against it. It's like, well, the law of this particular state says they're equal, but the general opinion says they're not. And when it comes down to it, it's public opinion holds sway above the law, which is Olivier kind of goes back to this again and again. It's the majority. The majority decides so much for justice, so much for principles. It's just basically what the majority of people decides. And is this the consequence? Is this the is this what democracy is? And you look at the various injustices that have happened to either Native peoples, to the Japanese internment camps in Canada, our democracy, and it's like, yep. At the time, that's what it was all perfectly legal because that's what our legal system says. And you have the sense that our legal system was not running on principles, but was running on, indeed, the popular opinions of the day, the majority opinion of the day. So it is one of those very valid criticisms of democracy. So yeah, that's my update at the halfway point. Optimistically halfway point of the day for Prrt and Olivier in America. More videos later.